Hey, what's going on? What's up, Angel Rodriguez? What's going on, man? Just going live briefly today. Just got off work. One of my manual jobs where I actually have to leave the house. And we can talk here for a couple minutes. This won't be a very long stream, but definitely feel free to ask any questions. I'll get those answered for you guys, and I just wanted to give a perspective update so everybody is aware of what to expect for tomorrow, going into Monday next week. And of course, I think we'll do an earlier stream tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll see. What's going on, Jonathan Johnson? Hex, this is going to be good. Appreciate that, man, and welcome back to the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for your consistent support, too. What's going on, Seven? Hope everybody's having a good evening. I know it's pretty late. Really wasn't quite planning to go live, but I'm seeing some positive price action here. I just wanted to talk about it now that it looks like we may have hit a bottom, as the title very non-clickbaity discusses. Just let Matt know that I'm up in here in case he wants to hang out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it, guys. Let me make sure the music's not too loud. If it is, let me know. But I'm going to get right into it. And again, feel free to ask any questions. Giselle, what's going on? I'm down 30%, minus 4,500. Man, should I just exit? Obviously not financial advice, right? But there's a couple reasons I would say no. All right, and let me just make it very clear again, not financial advice. Please, YouTube, do not sue me. But if I were to be in a scenario similar to yours, this is what I would be looking at here. All right, if you go to, let's go to Bitcoin's chart here. This is, wow, it's not Bitcoin. This is the perspective I would be looking at it from. Go to the 4-hour time frame and just take a look at what you've ridden through so far, depending on where you bought in. Obviously, if you're already down 4,500, you probably bought when Bitcoin was somewhere here or higher, like maybe before the drop completely. You probably were in somewhere in this area before we hit this point right here, right? Now, don't cry, 15 cents soon. Bro, that's actually messed up. So this is the way I'd be looking at it. If I just hide indicators, song's a weird vibe. Let's change that one. If I were just to hide the indicators here so that you can take a look at what the price action looks like a little bit more clearly, what you can see here is that at this moment that you're probably depressed and feeling like selling and taking a loss, we have potentially, just based off the technicals, potentially hit a bottom. All right. So, and guys, this will kind of start the TA for this stream as well, because this is the topic I wanted to talk about. Have we hit a bottom? Are we about to reverse on Bitcoin, or are we going to continue down? Now, the fear was definitely that we could continue down as of a couple days ago, and there was a few reasons why. The first thing that we saw after this drop from 52,000 was, of course, the nasty drop to 43.5. Now, Giselle, when you were holding your Dogecoin, I'm assuming that's what you're in. That means if you were in, you were down substantially more than you are right now, because Dogecoin actually went all the way down to 21.5. Right now, Dogecoin's at 24.25, which is way higher. That is over 10% higher than it was right here. So first of all, that's really good news. In fact, that's about 30% higher. Now, as we continue to evaluate the Bitcoin price action here to see what's most probable, the first thing that you could see next was the fact that we started to kind of triangle here a little bit as people were trying to look for an answer regarding like what was going to happen next. And so we started getting a little bit of like a triangle action here with the formation, and it kind of depends on how you really wanted to draw that. Could have been a little more conservative and had your triangle like that. That's kind of besides the point. Either way, at some point here, we ended up breaking above that. It was a false break, and then we started to trend down here. Now, keep in mind the swing bottoms that we hit on the way down. We had now I'm going to need to unhide the drawings. Oh, oops. We hit here, this lowest point here at 43,525. Then we hit here at 44.5. All right, and then after we made this move up, we came back, found support near 45.5, and then we continued to pull back and just went barely below it, but the body of the candle closed at 45.5, 45,550. So we now have multiple touches of support here, and then you can see we did another bounce, a bit of a reload with a low here at this low. Right, so now our lows are going higher, and hopefully I'm conveying this clearly. Basically what I'm trying to say, we had a super low here, and then we had a low here, a higher low, the lowest low, and now we have a higher low again. It's like we're now starting to go on trend in reverse. We had a downtrend, now we're having a bit of an uptrend with our highs, and then overall also we're still going up. We haven't made a new low below 43.25. So, and I know that's still a little complicated, but just looking at this in multiple different ways, you can see that we've possibly hit a bottom here. I would have been very concerned. In the first place, I was concerned, okay? I was concerned when we started to go below this secondary low here, because usually what you don't want to see is the price action start heading back towards the deepest low. So if we did this and then we did this, what you don't want to see is the bounce come back around and then do this again and start heading back to that first low. That's what I call the H of Doom, because when that happens, that signifies that people bought that up significantly thinking it was the bottom, and they bought it, and then it slowly ran out of steam and fell all the way back down to that super low of support that everyone thought was the bottom. And now, since it's hitting it again, people are probably going to panic and be like, I guess that wasn't the bottom. And then you see everybody start to panic sell here, and you usually see a pretty quick drop down. What we saw here, though, instead of getting that kind of H vibe, it was just a quick rejection of the price under the previous low. As you can see, the body of the candle closed there, but under that was a rejection wick. And after that, we have not made that low again, and we're actually starting to kind of trend up here and not see these lows again. So at this point, potentially getting some signals that we could be near a potential bottom. So this would not be an ideal time to sell, in my opinion. Because if anything, the signals we're getting are saying we could be looking up from here, and what we should be doing now is try and figure out how are other people looking at their charts. They're probably trying to draw some triangles here and trying to see what resistance levels are that we need to break. So if I were to be trying to triangle this out, just drawing along the tops here on this slant, I can see the price that we'd like to get above is 45,700, which is only, what, $400 away on Bitcoin. Not far at all. $400 away is my price target. So I would hate to sell now on the bounce up when we're so close to potentially a breakout. 4,500 is what you want to see us break above. On the way down, what you want to be wary of is falling, first of all, below 44.3, which is a long way down. We're not even in that danger zone yet. And then also, more importantly, falling below 44, almost 44 flat, kind of in this area. And we're not near any of those panic levels. So I wouldn't really, at this moment in time, I feel like the odds would be against me to be bearish. So no, I would not sell right now. I would hope that this is going to continue up because that's the way it looks. Sorry, that was a long explanation, but we're going down, but it's okay. Just hodl, and during Christmas, you'll be so happy, not to mention our yearly pump in April. It's a cycle, and we go through this every year. When you get a chance later, please do some TA on AMP. Just 2 months ago, I bought Doge at 17 cents, and then it shot up again. Well, first of all, awesome job on that Doge buy. There were a lot of people when we were at that 16, 17 cent mark that, I was calling the bottom there, the very likely to be the potential bottom, but people just were not doing it. They were not feeling it. So very, very excited to hear that you bought at that time, whether it was from me or from someone else, or yourself. Either way, great buy. I'll do some TL on AMP. The thing about AMP, though, I can tell you this without looking at the chart. AMP likes to trend between 4 and 7 cents. The average is somewhere between 5 and 6.5. So if you can get an AMP buy towards 5 or less, awesome. Buy that dip and you know, you could even scalp that move. It's the same. It's actually the same exact price movement that we saw on Dogecoin before Doge broke out. When I first heard about Dogecoin, like on Robinhood, it was trading from anywhere from 4 to 7 cents, but typically was bouncing from 5 to 7. And I remember I kept buying at 5 and kept selling at 7. And then I'd wait for the dip to 5, and then I'd sell at 7. It's the same exact price movement. The difference, though, with AMP is that it's specifically created to not be extremely volatile. So at this point in time, buying near 5 is really, in my opinion, the only thing that makes sense, because this thing does not like to take off like a rocket on its own. It's not supposed to. It's only going to do that with more adoption. Because the way that AMP gets its value is from more places adopting AMP and utilizing the network, so that more of its stakers get paid out the transaction fees. So until that happens, AMP isn't really going to go take off like a rocket. So, yeah, where it's going, short term, it's just going to go to 7, maybe 7.5. But I don't see any break on that happening until we get some more announcements for Hex. But I'll pull up the chart too and just kind of show you what I'm talking about. But I just know that off the top of my head. Hey, what's going on, Alex? I bought at 17.2, but I kept trading for the accumulation and got stuck at 33. Ah, I see. Is that what your average is now, Giselle? AMP reminds me of Hex. It was like 5 cents for 3 months and then boom. And yeah, that's the thing. When AMP gets the announcements it needs, it will probably take off and just break out like crazy. Like I said, it reminds me, even though it's not set up the same, and it's not supposed to be volatile, it reminds me of Dogecoin. It was stuck in that channel for who knows how long. And then next thing you know, Doge is 30-something cents. So I agree with you there, Hex. And thank you. What's up, Rick? How's it going, man? Thank you, and thank you all for showing support so late. I'm sorry it was such a late stream. Had quite a interesting filled day today. Stayed up late last night, woke up very late, and then had stuff to do, and then just got back from one of my jobs. So, cool. Well, anyway, and let me just show you this real quick. Let's go back in time with Doge. If you look here, this is what I'm talking about here. Look at this here. The low here was right about 4 cents, and the highs were right here at about 6.50. You know, up to spikes at 7. And look at how long this was. This was from February all the way up until getting to the mid-April here. It didn't break above 7. It traded in this channel. Keep in mind, it traded in the same channel with no variations for 2.5 months, or 2 full months here. Pretty much since the chart started here, it was trading in that, and it was probably before that too. It only starts at the very beginning of February. You can see even there was a move at $4. So for at least 2.5 months, Dogecoin was trading between the same exact price ranges that AMP is trading right now, and then after that, the rest is history. You see, it never, ever came back in the same way that Bitcoin never went back to its super lows and all that stuff. Now let's go to AMP here, and we'll probably use TradingView for it. And if we go to let's just do a daily chart and compact this pretty heavily. Basically, what keeps happening with AMP here, you can kind of see the same trend. Support right here in this area, because these were the lows on Bitcoin extreme drops. You can see the what in the world happened here? Oh, this was in, wow. Well, that's wild. This is going back, this is last year. Keep in mind, this is 2020, this is 2019, and then this is even 2016. You can see where it feels the most comfortable. And that is right. Wait a minute. Yeah. Wow. Why in the world did AMP spike to like $1.20 in 2018? Jeez. Anyway. You can see from history that is the same basic channel that AMP gets stuck in these days. In between, right around 4.5 cents up to this area here. Well, not up that high. Really up to like here, 7-ish, 8 on a good day. Same exact idea, and this has been going on for months as well. So that's what I was talking about. What do I see coming? With this, I don't know what AMP's projection would be. I mean, pretty easily we could see, I think, a spike to 10. And we can even see here that in June we hit 12 cents. So I like to look at previous highs and say that that's what's possible if we get a breakout. That's just because that's what most people set their price targets at. You know, what was the previous high? Just like right now with ADA, everyone's still, if we have a bullish run, people are going to be thinking $3 again or $3.10 because that's where we hit, and we've already proven to ourselves that it's possible. Like, we can get back. And there could be even some bag holders that were holding at ADA 3 or ADA 3.10, and they're just like, oh yeah, we can get back. So chart wrong? What do you mean? Let's see. You bought Doge in February at 1 cent? Oh, wow, that's when you first bought? That's crazy. 1 cent. I wish. What's up, Skydive? Yeah, there's 7. He's coming back. Let's see. Doing good, like you've been enjoying them. Oh, you were talking to Josh. You only put in 1,000? Ah, man. Yeah, hindsight's 2020 though. I mean, you never know. Even looking at some of the things that we're in right now, oh, you could have put 5 times that. Man. Yeah. But hindsight is 2020, you know. At that time, Dogecoin was just a meme. You probably didn't want to overdo it, and you know that's fair. Because at that time, it was really risky. Because who knows? Like, what if you put 5,000 in and people just... What if this never happened? What if Elon never got involved? And what if people never really took it serious or started trying to? Like, Doge would probably still be down there in the 4 to 5 cent range. So you would have made some money, but it wouldn't have been like this. Oh, man. I missed a couple good rounds of fishing. My dad tried to take it out. Oh, it wasn't right. Are you guys talking about the boat? Nice. You can't get the 1,000 out of AMP? Oh, I was wondering why you timed him out. I was like, yeah, he was asking a question, but I didn't think it was that. Sorry about that, Hex. You'll be back hopefully in a couple seconds here. She Skydive apparently had her arm on the button. Her mod powers, they became telepathic, and she accidentally muted you. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that does suck. I really wish, because I was here from 4 to 5 cents too. I wish I all-in all my like savings and all that at 4 cents, and I could have sold it. I mean, we could have made so much money, like 10 to 15x our money, and that's life-changing for most people. But I still think there's some opportunity similar to that coming with some of these other cryptos. We'll get it. We'll get the right one. But basically, guys, what I really wanted to talk about here was kind of ADA, Dogecoin, and that whole situation we're in. On ADA, we're actually looking pretty decent. I'll be honest. We're looking okay, but I'm still just a little bit skeptical, obviously, because we do still have tomorrow, and we need to make sure that ADA is done with its news sell-off. Now, what I talked about yesterday basically was this. I'm very bullish on ADA, obviously, but I'm always going to be skeptical of typical trading trends, which is buy the rumor, sell the news. Most whales and everything, they're very familiar with it, and it really works out in the whale's favor, because keep in mind a lot, what was I thinking? There's 40% of Bitcoin is owned by 1,000 people. Keep that in mind when it comes to whale volume, for example. 40% 1.5% of Bitcoin is owned by only 1,000 people. That is not very many people. So that means almost half of Bitcoin's whole inventory can be manipulated completely by a group of 1,000 people, which is not very many. And so just imagine if those people got into a group and they started coordinating buys and sells and whatnot. Anyway, my whole point is that's a whole lot of Bitcoin per person. They could do some serious damage even if one or two of them's doing something at the same time. So usually what you want to see, if you're using that much position and you want to make a buy or a sell without completely destroying what your action, because imagine this, you're owning a size that could potentially dump the price as you're selling or make the price go up as you're buying. So you can end up kind of screwing yourself over if you're trying to sell at the top by pushing the top down so far that by the time like the second half of your shares are going through for sells, the price has already dropped drastically because you forced the market down. So usually what you want to do is get liquidity going. You want to get a whole lot of trades going in the opposite direction so that you then have people to sell to or to buy from. You want them already doing the counter move so that your move doesn't change the market while you're trying to time your move. You know what? Hopefully that made sense. Because like, let's just say Dogecoin's at 24 cents and I want to buy at 24 cents, a billion shares. If I were to try and buy a billion shares of Dogecoin at 24 cents, by the time like half a billion shares went up, the price would have probably bumped up to like 27. And now I'm buying shares way above where my target was. But if I can get a whole lot of people to start selling at that 24 cent mark, then I'm creating that equal selling pressure to counter my buying pressure, and that will let most of my sell go through at my target price, or most of my buy, and vice versa. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of times you'll see that kind of manipulation where you get a lot of people, like a lot of whale activity in one direction just in a spike to freak people out, and it causes a lot of sells, and then you'll see a whale start to buy in completely in the complete other direction. I really hate it when that happens, but that's a really common whale manipulation tactic. Kind of forgot why I started talking about that, but anyway, when it comes to ADA, the first thing I want to do is be confident. Hey, what's up, Dr. Dervs? And Rick, the announcement, someone said it in the Discord chat earlier. Let's see if I can find that for you real quick. 5:45 Eastern time tomorrow. That's what Matt said. So according to Matt's market, 5:45 Eastern is when the upgrade will happen. But basically, I just want to make sure all the new selling is out. Or all the new selling is out, and then we can start getting back to the run up here. This was a pretty drastic sell-off here, and after all of these sells, we started to see some nice rejection wicks at the bottom. Look at this drop down to $2. Massive rejection wick. Bit of a doji rejection candle, still massive rejection wick back up to these levels. And then we had this candle here down to 220s, rejected, and now we're sitting here. So it looks like, if you just take a look at this triangle that's kind of started to form, we are triangling here, but most of our triangle has been rejecting the bottom prices. So that's pretty positive. That's pretty positive. And hopefully we'll see just a nice break and hold out of the top of that. That would be great. But I do just want to make sure, I mean, we started to sell off really bad here today, down to 250, kind of had a double bottom here, which you could see on the lower time frames. There it is. Hopefully you guys can see that right here. Double bottom, nice move up, double bottom, nice move up. Now we're having a bit of a sell-off, and this could go back probably anywhere down to like here around 257. And I'm hoping it just doesn't go under that. And if it doesn't, good. What I was saying on Friday, though, was that I expected us to have the run up until this weekend, and then we're going to have a bit of a cool-off going into Sunday, and then the momentum's going to quickly pick back up. It's going to quickly pick back up. Probably on Monday, I would say, is when we start to see people buying back in pretty confidently. But it could be even as soon as tomorrow, just after the announcement happens and all the selling looks like it's done. We could then slowly start to see that ramp up happening tomorrow, kind of late. That would be my guess. And maybe people even thought that this was the sell-off here, and they're starting to kind of buy it back up already. And that was the new sell-off, and now we can move on. So that would be my hope. I definitely want to be moving up on this and not down, but we'll see. The thing with Bitcoin, the thing with this whole thing right here is we could probably be comfortable with 250 being the new sell-off bottom as long as Bitcoin doesn't make people fearful. And I'm kind of concerned about that because Bitcoin has been messing around with that 44,000 level a lot and really shaking people up. And we today saw ADA do some really nasty sell-offs as we started to get closer and closer to 45,000 flat. And then once it went under, it continued to sell off pretty nasty. But we did get a strong bounce, so that's good. And even a strong bounce from Bitcoin. And Bitcoin as well is starting to look really, really, really good in my opinion. What you can see is a bit of an inverse head and shoulder situation right here, even though it wasn't super clean. Right here, you know, a low, a super deep dip that gets rejected, and then a low back to the first one that was higher up. And then, you know, just another test bounce and a strong move out. Now, we did pull back, but we are really respecting this 44.8 level here, which is really nice. And I don't know, I think we could take off pretty soon here. You can see that we're getting close to a point where we are closing in on the end of this triangle, with most of the nice clean rejections being out of the bottom side here, and we're starting to get support above like the ascending trend line. We're not like riding it like that. So this looks bullish to me. I think we're going to see a reversal to the upside, and it's going to be a strong move. Usually the strong reversal move up goes back to the next ledge on a multiple move down. So for example, this right here, this ledge right at around 55, and this is what I mean. You get the drop, and then that ledge consolidation, and then the next drop. I think we're going to head up first to about 48, 47, 48, and then do a little bit of consolidating, and then blast back up to 50, and everybody will be back in a bullish mindset. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my best guess. And I'm pretty confident in it. But news and other FUD can, of course, change our trajectory, so keep that in mind. This is as long as nothing strongly influences us negatively. Oh, whoops, accidentally went live at the same time as Matt. So I'll go ahead and wrap up soon so that you guys can head back over to his. Sorry about that, Matt. I have been trying to time my streams not at the same time as yours. But yeah, there is that. ADA smart contracts, yes. So tomorrow at 5:45 Eastern time is when smart contracts will be going live on Cardano. And that will affect Bitcoin? Not necessarily. No, but we might see a nice break free from Bitcoin. When does the real fundamental growth of ADA start to begin? Not just this investor injection of capital. So that's a good question. In my opinion, now, like starting from tomorrow is when the real fundamental growth of ADA starts. Because ADA as a network actually becomes relevant with apps now being able to run on top of that network. One of the main things that everyone loves about Ethereum isn't that, you know, the ETH coin. Yeah, the ETH coin's cool. You can buy an Ethereum if you bought one at a little under 2, you know, it's heading back to 4,000, whatever. The whole purpose of Ethereum is to support the running, or to allow all of these apps to run. And that is like the majority of the top 100 programs, crypto programs that you see listed here. The majority of those are smart apps that run on top of the Ethereum network, right? Most of these cryptocurrencies are DeFi apps that run on ETH, on Ethereum network. So that's why Ethereum is so valuable. It provides a great network to run all of these. And then you also have not the smart contracts. These are smart contracts. And then you also have like the NFTs and all that cool stuff. Yeah, let me check on Hex. I think he's good. I don't see him. I think he's good. He might have just left. Sorry about that, Hex, if you come back. So that's that, all right? Now Cardano is going to be able, this whole event tomorrow is enabling Cardano to also run apps on top of its network, which was not a thing before. So now a lot of these that you're going to start to see in the top 100 are going to be Cardano apps. And I think that's really where the fundamental growth of Cardano is going to come from. Hopefully I answered that. That's why I think tomorrow is so important. And yeah, we're going to see a new sell-off and all that. It's already started. But then right after that's done, I think we're going to see a strong buying back up. We're going to rocket past $3, head to $3.50, and then head to $4, head to $5 pretty quick here. Very quick. So I'm pretty comfortable being in. Bitcoin 100K, Doge $1 end of year. I'd love to see it. And what's going on, Advantage? And thank you, Dr. Derbs. Appreciate the support. Hard to choose which stream to be on, but I'll join Matt after you finish yours, Mariano. Hey, thanks, Dr. Derbs. I appreciate it. I am going to go ahead and wrap up, though, guys, just right after I finish this explanation so you guys can head over. I'm not trying to take any viewers away here. But things are looking good. And I'm sure once you go to Matt's stream, he's going to be saying something really similar. Matt's pretty bullish on the current scenario, as am I. I really like the way this is setting up. Looks like we have strong support at this level right here, 44.8. Just like I said yesterday, keep an eye on the chart on Bitcoin. Make sure it doesn't go under 44.8 and hold under there. As long as it doesn't, we're still in a good spot. And just look for this break above the 45.7 level. If we get above there, we could be making a nice run for it. I think tomorrow we're actually going to see, fingers crossed, I think tomorrow we're going to see a green day. And that's really going to help ADA do well tomorrow instead of continuing a new sell-off. I think we already had that new sell-off a little early, and the only way we'll see a continuation is if people panic and think it's not over, which would happen naturally if Bitcoin pulls the market down, and that's going to make people think that the new sell isn't done. But if we can get a green day and that bumps ADA up towards like 260s, 270s again, people will be confident going into tomorrow. Maybe they'll feel like the dip was done already, and then they'll continue buying it up like they should based off the catalyst. So just keep in mind, it's a lot of new traders too, a lot of retail investors that are very emotionally driven. They look at the chart, they look at prices, they look at mental levels, and they start to feel a certain kind of way based off that. So that's where a lot of this logic comes from, is just trying to evaluate how are they going to feel when something happens and what are they going to do. A little concerned though, just hoping this isn't head and shoulders and that people don't read it that way, but I think we'll break to the top side. We'll see. ADA though showed really strong support at 250. I don't see us, hopefully not, going under this level again, and hopefully not even coming back. 250 is the level to look at. Under 250 is a bit unfortunate and bearish. Let's hope we don't see that. Looking at Dogecoin really quick. Dogecoin's actually just doing very well. Despite all of the movement down on Doge today, it really did not fluctuate out of that 24-cent mark like whatsoever. Bitcoin was going up and it was going down and all of this stuff, and it kept going down further and further and then into 44,000s and all that. ADA was having the sell-off of its life. Dogecoin barely moved here. You know, it went from like 24 cents to 24.5 to 24.77 and then back down to 24. Really didn't do much. Didn't move out of the 1 cent move. So cool. Stability is great, I think, in an asset that people still try to call a meme. So I think we're good. Solana formed a head and shoulders in the 4-hour chart. Please comment. Let's take a look at that before I close. Looking for a GTX 1660 Super or TI. Is that for mining? I've got a 1080 Ti, I think, right? Is that what I still have? Yeah, I didn't upgrade that. So yeah, I've got a 1080. And it's been good. I mean, it's a couple gens old, but it's solid. I like it. Let's look at Solana. I custom build my computers. It's like one of my hobbies. 178. Yeah, I was already, you guys know in the stream a couple days ago we were talking about Solana. I did say I was a little concerned about anything over the 220 mark and that it looked like we had topped out. So I'm very unsurprised. Solana had a very strong run up. Anytime there's a strong run up, it is due for a pullback, just like Bitcoin. You guys know I was saying that we needed a 200 EMA touch and we hadn't gotten it, and that our move up was probably short-lived unless we got some more hype news to propel it and keep that elevated, because you need to have a floor or people start getting uncomfortable. Keep in mind, these are people investing with large amounts of money. They want to make sure that they are still at a safe spot. And the longer you leave people feeling unsafe, the more emotionally they're going to start to feel like, maybe I should lock in some profit. That is a sell. That is selling pressure. That's when things start to stall out. So you start seeing these kind of moves here, massive extreme moves up away from the key levels of support, and then you're hanging out for a long time, not looking like you're strong anymore, like you're just going to do another push. People are like, okay, I guess it's time to lock in. And then you start to see everybody start to lock in as they start seeing more signs of weakness, and then you get the snowball effect, and then, that's your pullback. and then you get a nice, you get pulled back to a level where everybody starts thinking, oh, this is our comfort zone, which is the 200 EMA on larger time frames, and then you start to see people start flipping to, well, maybe this is the area of value to buy back in, and that's why it stops and usually bounces. But you can see even on Solana, its move up when it was at its healthiest, in my opinion, was really getting nice 100 EMA bounces up, but we are now super extended above the even the 50 EMA at this point. We are probably due for 150 pullback, to be completely honest. And then some sideways trading at that point, and then even determining if that's going to hold trading sideways or if it's going to do a deeper pullback to 120-ish, 125. I think Solana short term is probably about done. Maybe you'll see one more move from here up towards 200, and then it's probably time for a pullback. Because I don't think Solana got any crazy news that even warranted this explosion. I think it was just undervalued, and it's starting to catch up. Solana, after that run, is now past Dogecoin and is number 6 in the top 6, and it is already 3/4 of Cardano's value. So Solana has done its catching up here, and I think it's about time to cool off. Just my perspective. We'll see. That's just my guess. We'll see. I could be wrong, but that's just my first thoughts there. But yeah, back to Dogecoin. Dogecoin's doing fine. Let's just hope 24 is the lowest that we're going to go. But it's all up to Bitcoin here. And it looks like Bitcoin found some support here. Had a nice bounce. We're starting to see signs of wanting to do an uptrend. Let's just break out of that triangle here above 45.7. And then on ADA, obviously be a little wary going into tomorrow. There might be another pullback. We might see 250s, a little lower 250s again. Hopefully just not anything under this 200 EMA, which is about 245. If we can just stay above there, perfectly cool. I just don't want to see 230s and below. But either way, right after tomorrow, I think we'll be strong. So it doesn't really matter. A bit of an inverse head and shoulders overall starting to form here as well. Another sign that we could potentially be ready to take off. So I see a couple good things. Like I said, could see a little bit more pullback, guys, but overall, we look good. So just keep that in mind. Don't get too down about the pullbacks. I think we'll have a green week. Yeah, when it has that huge pullback, yeah. And, you know, I think now is the time to start investing in networks. Invest in retail coins and invest in network coins. There's a lot of other things, too, that you can find. I would try to kind of avoid the hype coins for now, and Hex and Algo and those are not hype coins. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about like the knockoff Doge coins, the knockoff Inu coins, the knockoff dog related coins, the savings account coins. I would probably try and divert that capital, even though sometimes I like encouraging to maybe throw $100 or $200 into like a couple of those to see what happens. This is probably the time I would stay locked in and focused on network coins, and also in maybe some retail focused coins, but primarily network coins, because I think this is still Dogecoin's time to shine. I wouldn't want to get too distracted with the others. But like Solana, Cardano, and any other competitors, Algo, any other competitors to the Ethereum network, now is their time to shine. So take a look at any of those that you can. Find some that look good, that a lot of people are actually interested in, not some coin that nobody cares about, and start looking into maybe investing in that would be my idea. I just made $1,200 betting on Victor Belfort against Grandpa Holyfield, so I'm happy. $1,200, that's awesome, man. Glad to hear that. But things are looking good, guys. Things are looking up. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Please go ahead, show Matt some love over at Matt's Market. That's his YouTube channel. If you were not there yesterday, we did a joint stream here on this channel. It's uploaded too, so you can watch it after this stream if you want as well, if you missed it. But it was good, and he has good perspective. So go and check him out. Yeah, so like Solana, Cardano, Polygon, competitors to the Ethereum network. They're other blockchain-focused coins that its purpose is to run smart contracts on top of, which are apps. So they are networks to run apps on. Hey, no problem, guys. Skydiving, Dr. Derbs, and everybody. And thank you as well. Thank you for the support, especially so late at night. But yeah, this is a late stream, so I'm definitely going to cut it short here. Everybody, have a great night. Go, again, check out Matt's Market stream there. And show him some love. I'll be over in that chat too for a couple minutes, so I'll see you guys there. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.